those struggles that I've been struggling with in health, and last December 2nd I landed in the hospital after a surgery, and it scared me. It really did scare me, and I thought life is fragile, life is short, life requires a person to make decisions that are the right decisions for the right time, and the decision that I've made is the right decision for this time. I had a call this morning, and unfortunately I was sitting over here having breakfast and I didn't feel my BlackBerry vibrate. I've got it on ring now because Dalton McGuinty called me this morning, and he left a message. I missed it, and he wanted to, he knew about this. In fact, he knew about this, and Claude McIntosh, wherever you are, you don't need the crystal ball anymore. If you're here, he said that you could take it to the bank. Well, here it is. But on April 4th, Dalton McGuinty, our premier with vision and thought to what he wants for this province, sat with me at Quinn's Inn, up in the banquet hall upstairs, the two of us in this big dining hall, sitting at a table like this, across from each other, having lunch together. I had about an hour of time there to be with the Premier and to talk about things, and he knew what was on my mind, and no matter how much convincing they tried to put to me at Queen's Park, I knew that it was the right thing to do. And this is why, on this date, before Christmas, before we get into that busy Christmas season, I wanted to bring and invite and encourage my family and friends and my staff to get together, and my family, to make sure that you all understood where I was going in the future, and to give those folks in the riding who will be picking up the torch, whether it be for the Liberal Party that I've represented at Queen's Park for the past 7 years. And I have 11 more months to go, so you're not finished with me yet. I had to give some notice, and this is the notice, and there are other parties, three other parties here in the riding that will be looking at this situation now and understanding that, right, we have an election in 11 months. And they will be making decisions, but I wanted to make sure that my riding association, that's why I met with them earlier, that they certainly speculated on things, but I wanted to make sure that they knew what my intentions were and how much I appreciate what they've done, and how much I appreciate what every ministry at Queen's Park has done for this riding. And every ministry at Queen's Park, even to, well, Northern Development Mines, no. Now that's one that really hasn't had too much impact here at all. But you want to know, Rick Bartolucci, when he moved from there over to Community Safety and Correctional Services, I was so glad that he moved over here. And that that first month, he was down to my riding twice, because he was one of my esteemed members at Queen's Park who I really, really enjoyed working with. And so he had an opportunity. But every ministry has had an impact here in my riding, in our riding. Let's say it that way, as in it had an impact in our riding. And they have supported me, they have supported you, and I can say that our riding has been better for it. In the future, after the next election and up to the next election, I shall work tirelessly. I can't tell you that I can go door to door, because if you asked me to walk door to door today, I couldn't do it with the hurt in my joints. And some of you probably know that I've battled some arthritis problems and whatnot, so it'd be difficult. But certainly I'm going to work tirelessly for whoever is nominated here in the riding, to make sure that we can keep this riding going strong and forward and progressive, and that we continue to make sure that for so long, something that really bothered me for so long, you kept hearing that the Ontario ends at Kingston. Well, I can tell you, since I got to Queen's Park, they know that the Ontario does not end at Kingston. It ends where the sun shines first in the province of Ontario. There's the fellow right there. Jean-Marc has never let me forget that. So to all of you today, and I hope I haven't missed anybody in some of the individual remarks, I've worked tirelessly with some of the council members too, who are here today. And some of those council members are here with me today. Some of you were acclaimed in the last election, as Brian McGillis was, and some of you won, Bernadette Clement and Denny Thibault, then there were some that weren't successful. But somebody walked in this room today that my heart felt so good. And Estella Rose is sitting here today. Estella is right over here. You know, there's a woman who, when I went back to county council in I went into county council. I had been on council as a councillor, but when you become elected as a deputy reeve, you got to serve in county council. Estella arrived there in '88, and I arrived there in '88. We struck up there was a tireless worker for Mountain Township, and she continued that right up until, and I don't know if you have any more meetings, but Estella, I can tell you, and there's Alvin Reynolds back there, another tireless worker for his community. You both unfortunately, you weren't successful in the last election, but you both worked tirelessly for your community. And we've had wardens come and go in this riding. Wardens period is a 1-year period. But Estella took in every event in this riding. And I have to say, she's done a wonderful job. I look over the crowd and I see all kinds of folks that have made an impact. Bill Shearing back there, SD&G Highlanders. I was so fortunate 2 years ago with Bill Shearing, and he probably has a little collection of stories in his back pocket about me in Britain, in England, France, Belgium, and Holland. We had a good time, didn't we, Bill? No stories here, though. And just recently, I just got back last night, as I said, from Israel and touring the Holy Lands, and David Hill back here, my travel companion, over to Europe 2 years ago, and then here, just returning from a 9-day tour of Israel. A remarkable experience, and to have a travel companion like